Hi, Melissa.
Hello.
I hear you have questions.
Every day, all day long, since I popped out, much to my parents' horror. Every day, all day long.
I
I have
love
a
a
list of
question.
them.
I love a questioner. I love a questioner. What are your questions about today?
I have so many things. I think specifically, one of the things is what's going on with the fact that I now have immense energy that's a bit more directed, which is not my typical MO.
I like that. I like that. Let's take a look at what that is. So, let's look at the astro of it all. Can you see my screen?
I can. I love that's so pretty. The rainbow. Oh, rainbow. That's
Happy
a
Pride!
That's a pride zodiac.
Happy Pride! Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Happy Pride. Happy Pride.
Me too.
We see you. We love you. We is you. Yes.
Mhm. Is you.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. So, yeah, what I have on, in case anyone is wondering, these are the decans, the elemental decans that I have turned on because I like to see what the rulers are of the degree parts of each sign. And so this is a chart wheel using whole sign houses and specifically breaking down each 10 degrees into different rulership. And I say different, but the truth is it's actually a layered rulership. And so what I want to draw your attention to here, Melissa,
Yeah.
is we have just had a big event happen here with Daddy Saturn. So
Mhm.
here's Daddy Saturn currently at 0 degrees 40 minutes Aries.
Mhm.
And Aries is ruled by Mars. And
Mhm.
Mars says go, take action, fight, fuck, all the things that Mars is like, let's go. Mars is fuck around, find out later, maybe. I'm not really interested in the finding out. I gotta go do shit. Daddy
Right.
Saturn has been in watery, moody, escape artist Pisces for like 3 years.
Mhm.
Well, 2.5, but we'll call it 3. For a couple of years now, we've had Daddy Saturn in Pisces,
Mhm.
and he's finally in Aries for the first time since 1996 to 1998.
Mhm.
If you can think back to that period of time. Yeah, we're bringing back those bangs. Can we
Dang.
talk about that? Did
The
this
best Lilith, my best Lilith. Look,
My best Lilith alive? Yeah.
Lilith fair. That's right.
Those mid 90s were so Lilith. Yes. Yeah, what Fiona Apple? Do we have like Alanis Morissette? Like how much?
Uranus. I mean,
Yes. Oh God, Tori.
mhm. Mhm.
So much. So much. Oh God, that just all that girl power. I love it. Love,
Mhm.
love. The Saturn in Aries of it all is definitely making structure of Saturn feel a little more direct because Aries is not going to spend a lot of time figuring out what to do. It's just going to say, let's do it. And even though Daddy Saturn is a little slow moving planet, he's kind of liking that we're in a place of let's go rather than let's soak in it
Right.
and create structure underwater. And so even though Saturn's not great in Aries, he's definitely enjoying the fire
Mhm.
of it. And we can see it happening. I don't know how much you keep up with the news and what's going on in the world, but I was noticing just today as we're taping this, um, Elon has already tweeted about how fucked up all the things are in the White House and the big beautiful bill and all. I'm like, how quickly we go from a Real Housewives of Salt Lake City bruise on the face exit from the White House
Right. Oh my God, I forgot about that.
and going, I told my kid to punch me. And I'm like, okay, Heather, I remember you saying that it was a door or an elbow and not Jen's fist. Okay, sure.
Right, right, right. Yeah, I did not know about that. I have not watched the news today because Saturn in Aries. I've been going for it. Like, I'm doing a lot of this. Okay, let's do the thing. Okay. And I've been excited and not as worn down. It's the way I feel, it feels like Saturn is drying out a little, like
Yeah.
in a good way, not as waterlogged. Like, oof, okay, I'm not sinking.
I think what you're feeling is absolutely correct, because Saturn, after a couple years soaking in all that water, it's not that he loses his ability to create structure. It's just that he's had to learn how to create structure underwater.
Yeah.
It's a different set of needs. And as soon as he gets into Aries and he's like, whoa, it's fast, it's hot, it's wow. Oh, you'll just take action on whatever I say. Cool. Let's see what that feels like. And what we're getting right now is a preview from end of May of 2025 to September 1st, I think. We're getting this preview of Saturn in Aries. And then because of retrograde, it's going to go back into Pisces and finish some business until middle of February 2026.
Mm-hmm.
So basically use this time that you're like not at all wrong about the energy that's happening.
Right.
Use it to see like what are the seeds that are going to get planted in this couple of years that we're going to spend, because then we're going to have Saturn in Aries into 2028. Right. So we got a little while.
I have a question.
Melissa has questions.
Yes. Okay. So I've wondered before when I understand retrograde to the best of my ability. When Saturn moves retrograde, so all of the gains, is it going to go whoop?
Oh,
Like
great question.
what happens? Like, are you like, oh, great, now I have to do this again? And I only say this because Mars in the Cancer situation,
That
I'm
was
not about
painful.
retrogrades. No retrogrades anymore.
That was painful.
Yeah.
That was
That's a
so
lot.
painful. Luckily, Mars only retrogrades every 2 years and only retrogrades in Cancer every few times. So we
Right.
don't actually have to go through that again for a while. I mean, I could check the actual dates to get less than a
I
knock
don't
wood about
know.
it, but no, it was horrible. I mean, we don't want to know. We don't know.
I
You're
don't
right.
know.
It was a monster. Let's look at what retrograde actually kind of does. For those who don't know, it's the illusion that happens when we're all on planets that are moving around the same sun, and we're doing so at different paces. Our orbits are different enough that there comes a moment when we on this planet look over here and see planets that should be going the same way we are actually appear like they're going backwards. And it's an illusion, but it is one that very definitely creates impact here in our lived experience, as we know from Mercury retrograde, the thing that we experience most frequently. That happens 3-4 times a year. So while Mercury retrograde means we do have to do over contracts and details and things that we missed that are ruled by Mercury communication, with Saturn retrograde, we don't have to undo or do over things like that. We're so accustomed to the Mercury retrograde do-overs that I want to make sure that we separate those from the planet and the act of retrograde. Let's look at Mars. Mars retrograde means turn the energy inward that cuts, that fights, that fucks, that messes things up because it moves fast without thinking first, because Mars is about taking action. And if we look at how Mars loves to cut a bitch, and then when that energy gets turned inward, well, then that bitch is me. That, and especially Mars in Cancer, where he's not happy. There's a lot of that we got to experience during that it just, everything felt like we were taking it personally, especially those of us with Cancer in the big three. You know, that's that little extra pain.
No one in this room and no one in that room.
No one in these rooms. Man, I'm so glad that's over. Yeah, but so here's what to expect with Saturn retrograde, which will happen September 1st into the end of the year of 2025. Saturn retrograding is going to actually go back into Pisces, and it will actually, I say September 1st. Let's actually go to the look, because before I am too quick to say that, I think September 1st is when it's back in Pisces, which means it will have gone retrograde earlier than that. Let's find out. So Saturn retrograde is going to be, July 12th. Excuse me. Right after my birthday, July 12th. So July 12th, you'll see Daddy Saturn has now moved over here for when that retrograde starts. And then we'll move out of Aries and give us Pisces retrograde Saturn starting September 1st. And then we'll turn direct in Pisces. So now we're back. Where'd my rising go here? Right here. We get back to 25 degrees 9 minutes Pisces for Daddy Saturn.
Wow.
Yeah. And then on November 27th, we turn direct again and move back into Aries and leave Pisces for the next 27 years, 26 years. So here's what happens. When the shift of retrograde happens at first, Saturn is still going to be in Aries, which means we're going to do over those degrees that we have just covered. So what we're seeing happening right now with Daddy Saturn in Aries, we're going to go back across those degrees and we're going to do Saturn things. Saturn is let's straighten things up. Let's declutter. Let's prune anything that got too extra over here. And when it's retrograde, it's more like looking at the internal systems. What do we as a society need? Remember, Saturn's a little farther out. So that being farther out means it affects more society than individual. Mercury, definitely individual. Mars, definitely individual. Saturn, Jupiter, a little more society. And then when we get out to like Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, those outers are definitely generations that are being affected.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's what will happen is the stuff that we're experiencing right now, we're going to get to take another look at in terms of internal systems. And so let's say you and I doing this podcast, we're having these conversations. We're like, this is such fun, Saturn, Aries energy. Let's go. Let's get it out, get the structure, put it together. Maybe when we turn retrograde, we get to look at, are these structures actually working? Is this what's best? Do we have some clutter that we need to clear out? And then more importantly, when Saturn moves into Pisces retrograde, we're going to get that last chance to clear out anything extra that got like tacked on while Saturn was in Pisces. So this is when we're going to remove a lot of the illusion of things that were happening just within the years 2023 to 2025. Like so much. Oh my God. But more importantly, and I know you didn't ask this question, but I'm going to answer this question.
But I probably would have.
Okay, you tell me. It's when a planet leaves a sign, he leaves a gift. And so when Daddy Saturn leaves Pisces for good, which will be February of 2026, we're going to be able to look back at Pisces and go, hey, Saturn, you definitely left a gift over here in Pisces. You usually with this relationship, Saturn Pisces, you gave us a little more structure. You allowed this creative space of escapism and mystery and music and dreams to get a little more solidified. We're gonna have a lot more psychics running businesses because of this, because we've got people who have tapped into their gifts and had the structure to create a business around it.
Okay, well, here, that sounds familiar.
Look at that. Look at that.
Sounds familiar. Okay.
So yeah.
Raise. Okay. So, and tell me if this is too many questions, if these are too many questions. So when Saturn left Pisces, it left a little, it's like the opposite of Taylor Swift. You know how she lives little Easter eggs, except it's like letting you know what's about to happen. But this is like a little gift on the other end, retro. Okay. So left a little gift there, moved into Aries. When it moves back out of Aries, does it leave a little gift in Aries?
Not so much.
Okay.
That one's more of the Taylor Swift direction, because what we're going to have is right now we're getting Easter eggs. We're getting like hints of when is the album going to drop? What's it going to be about? Which boyfriend's going to be burned? You know, all that.
All of them.
All of them
is the answer. All of them.
That is the answer. It's true. And then as that retrograde goes back across, we're going to get a little more of the, I don't like to say secrets revealed with Saturn, because Saturn's not big into secrets. It's just clutter gets pruned. We get rid of the shit we don't need, because Saturn's like no extra.
Yeah. Which has historically offended me, because you know, I'm sometimes can be a maximalist. But
how so? Detail.
Yeah, just everywhere. I'm like, oh my gosh, where is that little horn that I had back in the day, and that mask and the pair of wings? Because I'm going to do something with it. Anyway, we've been cleaning. We've been clearing. We've been cleaning, pruning. I've actually been consistently tending to a garden.
Whoa.
I know. Dahlias, zinnias. Anyway, so I'm super excited. I've made an attempt. No, I haven't made an attempt. I've actually gone out and done the things that I've needed to do to take care of the things and the people and the animals and the self and the So yeah, it's really interesting. My thing is, if I can lock in and just go 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 and have the staying power like today to get the things done, I'm going to stay up, I'm going to do it. Because if I don't, I'm afraid I won't come back to it. And I think that that's part of my, oh gosh, I don't want this to go away because I feel like it feels like ADHD reined in.
Well, wouldn't you say that every planetary experience we get, like every transit, every moment of retrograde, every time something gets ignited in our chart by something happening in the woo weather today, is an
Mhm.
opportunity for us to hop on that bus and take it and experience things a little differently than we do right now?
Yeah.
I mean, the way to look at natal chart is this fixed thing that existed. It's a snapshot of the moment we were born and where were all the things. And then the transits that happen and the retrogrades that happen and just the woo weather, the mundane astrology in general creates activations to
Right.
our natal chart because our natal chart exists in relationship to the now. And
Hmm.
so, what if the thing that gets activated is not just a, oh, right now I feel all this energy and I don't want to lose it? It's this energy has been activated in my natal chart and I'm going to remember and keep this activated because I like it.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah.
We can
No, that's
choose,
great.
we
I
can
wasn't really
choose.
all that looking forward. I was actually looking forward to Saturn moving into Pisces because North Node,
Mm,
Pisces, creativity feels very nebulous. You know, what do you do? What do you do?
same, same.
And it has helped me so much. It's like somebody built a beautiful swimming pool or something with flow and ability to like contain healthily some of the water while there's still flow.
Because what was the Pisces and especially North Node relationship before early 2023 when Saturn got there? It's all over the place.
Right.
I didn't feel like I knew my North Node in Pisces. I was terrified of it.
Yeah.
And knowing our nodal returns are now coming up, we're now not as scared.
I'm not. I'm ready.
It's like, bring it. Let's do it.
Ready to go.
Let's show, let's show, let's show.
It just now occurred to me two things. First off, I was going to ask you on my list of what if, what is this, what is that? Like I get the personal planets. At some point I went, what is this? What are the social planets? What is that? And so now you explained it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like,
pretty much Jupiter and Saturn. Like if we think about how far they are away,
yeah,
it's like the personal planets, the most personal is going to be the moon, which of course is not even a planet, but the luminary, the moon, because that one is in charge of how we get our needs met. That is the most personal, really. And it's the closest in. We're affected by it 12 to 13 degrees a day. So definitely that's a sensitivity, especially for those of us with cancer in our big three, in our life car. We got, that would be us. We're gonna
yeah,
have that experience.
yeah.
Moon. But yeah, moon, sun, Mercury, Venus, little Mars. That's like all riding right here on us. And then we get the social planets of Jupiter and Saturn, and we could throw a couple of the others that have recently, when I say recently, I mean astrologically recently been discovered that are social planets. Of course, Chiron, the planetoid, is a part of that conversation. Then
Oh,
we move out into, yeah, way more social than generational.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, because it moves. I get it. I get it. I get it.
Well, because it's Chiron has an orbit that actually swings between Saturn and Uranus. And so it's like it comes inside and then goes back outside, which is why it spends longer in Pisces, Aries, and Taurus than any other signs. Because while it's there, it's swinging way out. And then it goes, speeds through like 3 years each for all the rest of the
Right.
signs. And then we
Okay.
get these big generations of Chiron that, of course, then that becomes social.
I want to bookmark that.
Yep.
We can talk about it, but I want to do a Chiron thing at some point because I'm fascinated.
Well, so let's close off this conversation and ask folks to please share what would you like us to cover, because Chiron's going to be one of them. We'll
Mhm.
come back with more. What
Mhm.
else? There will be more. There'll be more. Thank you for your
There will
questions,
be
Melissa.
more.
Thank you. All right.
Welcome.
We'll do it again. Bye, y'all.